Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm in Akitsu. It's a beautiful morning and, well, it's a perfect day for another day of Hanami, cherry blossom viewing. Now in Akitsu there's what I would say is my favorite place for cherry blossom viewing in the whole of Hiroshima Prefecture. It's a small mountain, more like a hill really, but it's called Shofukujiyama, and it's only a short walk from the station. It's a short walk, but it's quite a steep walk. Anyway, let's go and see. This is about a minute's walk from the station, and we can see Shofukujiyama. It's the mountain, or the hill, just up there. Even from here, the cherry blossom looks beautiful. And this is Shofukuji, the temple that gives the hill its name. And this is also the start of the climb up to the top of the hill. Okay, let's start the climb proper. As I say, the path is pretty steep. It's also pretty narrow as well. Okay, I'm about maybe a third of the way up the hill now. It's a good time to take a breather. There's also a really good view of Akitsu Station from here. This climb is certainly as steep as I remember it from previous years. In fact, I'll wait to talk to you again until I get to the very top of the hill. Let's face it, you're not going to want to hear my puffing and panting as I walk up the hill, are you? Last night there was actually a sudden thunderstorm with torrential rain, so heavy in fact that there was a weather warning issued. But luckily it doesn't seem to have affected the blossom. Alright, that's the main part of the climb done, and here we are at the top of Shofukujiyama. That will certainly have used quite a few calories, I think. So, you might want to ask, why is this place my favourite place in the whole of the prefecture for cherry blossom viewing? Well, let me explain. So, as I said at the very beginning of the video, Shofukujiyama is a hill. Not that big a hill, but a hill nevertheless. The other thing to mention is that Akitsu is right by the sea. This means that from the top of Shofukujiyama, there is an incredible view out over the inland sea. And, well, the inland sea and cherry blossoms, I'd say the view really does take some beating. Let's take a look. So, how about this for a view? I think you'll agree it's worth the climb up from the station. Obviously, you didn't have to do the climb up from the station, but trust me, this view is worth it. Okay, let's take a look at the whole view. So we start from Akitsu Port, and this is Mitsu Bay. And in the sea, there are the Ikada, the oyster rafts. Then there's Ryuo Island and Aino Island, and then in the background is Oshiba Island. The large island in the distance is Osaki Kamijima, and that's actually where the ferry we can see is heading to. And then just coming into view in the mid-distance is Okunoshima, which is famous for its rabbits. It was also a poison gas island in the Second World War. It really is a spectacularly beautiful view, and especially on a day like today. The weather is really just about perfect. Alright, let's take a walk around. The area at the top of Shofukujiyama with the cherry blossoms is actually quite a large space. And although obviously I can't show them, there are hundreds of people having picnics. I think most of them involving sake, in fact. Still, with views like this and weather like this, it's no surprise that it's a popular place. But anyway, the views we've seen so far, beautiful as they are, aren't the only views from Shofukujiyama. So let's take a little walk around and see what other views we can find. While we're taking a stroll around, I think I'm going to be quiet for a little while. I mean, after all, there's not really that much to say. There are magnificent cherry blossoms, there is a fantastic view out over the beautiful inland sea. Well, what else is there to say, really? So, please join me on this little stroll around Shofukujiyama. In one corner of the park, again overlooking the sea, there is this rather beautiful weeping cherry blossom. If I'm being completely honest, I would have to say that I think I prefer the, let's say, conventional cherry blossom. But nevertheless, this weeping cherry blossom is quite spectacular. And as with so much of the park here in Shofukujiyama, the location is everything. Anyway, back to what I called earlier the conventional cherry blossoms. By the way, there are several varieties of cherry blossoms, and they're all a little bit different. I think, and please don't quote me on this, but I think that the cherry blossoms here in Shofukujiyama are mainly, if not entirely, a type called Someyoshino. Wow, just look at that wonderful sea haze. So the ferry to Osaki Kamijima is just leaving Akitsu port. If you put a gun to my head and force me to choose my absolute favourite view from Shofukujiyama, I think it would probably have to be this one. Okay, somewhat unfortunately, I think it's time to head back to the railway station. Akitsu doesn't really have the most frequent of train services, and if I miss the next train, I'm going to be waiting around for a long time. To be honest, I would be completely happy to stay at Shofukujiyama until nightfall and see the lanterns and the cherry blossoms around them lit up in the twilight. I think that would be quite remarkably beautiful, but unfortunately I don't have the time to do that. So, with somewhat of a heavy heart, it's goodbye to Shofukujiyama for another year. Okay, so there is a word in Japanese, tatobi. It means the beauty of many islands, or the scenic beauty of a group of islands. It's used to describe the picturesque landscape of regions with many islands, a well-known example being here, the Seto Inland Sea. Now, I love the Inland Sea, and I can think of many vistas throughout Hiroshima and the adjacent prefectures, which well deserve the description tatobi. But in my opinion, very few of them compared to this view from Shofukujiyama. With the blossoms in full bloom under a perfect blue sky, the shimmering sea, and the islands growing progressively fainter, more hazy into the distance. I hope fervently that this landscape, this most tatobi-est of tatobi views, if you will, remains like this, unchanged, for eternity. Anyway, as ever, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you ever have the chance to visit Shofukujiyama in cherry blossom time, it's well worth it. Akitsu is not the easiest of places to get to, but you won't regret it if you make the effort, I'm sure. Anyway, as I say, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video very soon. But for now, from Shofukujiyama, goodbye.